At exactly 11:47 p.m. on July 14, 2025, the United States Navy SEALs and Air Force Special Operations began one of the most precise ambushes in modern history, a mission built on patience, surveillance, and flawless coordination. The cartel's confidence would become its downfall. The trap had already been set, and the dessert was about to come. A little before we dive into how this unfolded, think for a second. What was their greatest mistake? Was it underestimating American surveillance, trusting the terrain, or believing the border would protect them? Let us know in the comments below as we move deeper into the story of how pride met precision in the Arizona night. Sinaloa Cartel is not just a criminal network, it is an empire. Its reach extends from mountain valleys in Mexico to the suburbs of Los Angeles and Chicago. This convoy was more than a shipment, it was a statement of dominance. Inside those trucks lay 2.4 tons of methamphetamine, 500 kilograms of fentanyl, and over $50 million in cash. A fortune on wheels. Sacris the dessert. The United States watched in silence. SEAL Team 6, AC-130 Ghost Rider gunships, and MQ-9 Reaper drones formed a web of eyes in the sky. They didn't strike immediately, they waited, because this wasn't about confrontation, it was about containment. 7 days earlier, Navy SEALs had already been on the ground. They studied every rock formation and every echo of the canyon chosen for the ambush, a narrow corridor of stone, 20 meters high and 600 meters long, only one way in and one way out. Perfect geometry for a kill zone. 9 the pre-dawn hours, they moved like shadows, claymore mines buried under the sand, seismic sensors hidden beneath the soil, infrared cameras camouflaged into the rock face from high above. The Reaper drone watched everything, tracking each tire, each spark, each radio ping from the convoy as it crossed from Mexico into the United States. Inside the command center at Davis-Monthan Air Force Base, a three-dimensional map glowed on the screen. Every vehicle, every signal appeared in real time, turning the desert into a living grid. The convoy had no idea that each mile they covered was already measured and mapped. They believed the border was behind them. They were wrong. They were being guided into a box with invisible walls. And what made it worse, someone inside the convoy was not who they seemed. An embedded guide planted days earlier, steering them exactly where American intelligence wanted them to go. The perfect deception, a false sense of safety, leading them straight into a trap. At 1:14 a.m., the first truck rolled into the canyon, its headlights painted silver across the rock walls as the rest of the convoy followed in formation. Pickups with mounted guns, trucks heavy with crates, over 60 armed men pushing forward with confidence beneath them. The sensors awakened, transmitting vibrations to the command screens miles away. The red dots lined up perfectly. The serpent of steel had entered the cage. Then came the silence. Radios crackled with half messages before going dead. Static filled the air. Electronic jamming had begun. The cartel was deaf, blind, and isolated. Above them, the Reaper hovered, invisible and unblinking. Down in the canyon, the convoy crawled deeper, headlights bouncing off stone walls that seemed to close in tighter. Overconfidence turned into unease, but it was too late on the ridges. SEAL Team 6 lay motionless, rifles trained, fingers steady on triggers. The command whispered through encrypted headsets, "Hold fire, let them go deeper." Every meter they advanced meant fewer chances to escape. Minutes stretched like hours. On the screens in Tucson, red dots aligned at the canyon's heart. The trap was complete. And then, at 1:21 a.m., the desert erupted. Claymore mines tore through the first trucks, the blast rolling across the canyon like thunder. Flames and shrapnel filled the air. Engines screamed as the convoy collapsed into chaos before the smoke even cleared. The Ghost Rider opened fire from the sky, its cannons traced burning arcs through the darkness. Every round a streak of light cutting into steel. A 105mm shell struck the ground, flipping a transport truck into a chain of explosions that lit up the night like sunrise. Of canyon became a storm of metal and fire. Cartel gunmen stumbled out, shouting, firing blindly into the cliffs, but the cliffs themselves answered back from both sides. The SEALs unleashed precision fire. Invisible in the darkness, every muzzle flash met by Another burst of disciplined retaliation to the men below. It felt as if the stone walls had turned against the Samoan fighter. Climbed onto a burning truck with an RPG balanced on his shoulder before he could fire. A marksman's bullet found its mark. The launcher exploded on impact, ending him and two of his comrades instantly. Defiance had no place here for 10 long minutes. The night was nothing but flame, smoke, and echoes of gunfire. Then came a shift through the chaos. A reinforced Ford Raptor pushed forward. Inside sat El Gallo, the cartel lieutenant commanding the operation. The mission's true target above. A tiny black Hornet drone zipped into the canyon. Its silent camera scanned the wreckage until it found him. Within minutes, the SEALs had confirmation El Gallo alive and trapped. Orders came through: do not kill. Contained Ghost Rider adjusted its aim, firing close to the Raptor's position. The blast shattered the windshield, spraying glass across the cabin. El Gallo ducked, screaming into a dead radio. He was no longer in command. He was prey amid the battle. One SEAL was hit by flying debris. Within seconds, his teammates pulled him back, called in a medevac, and a Pavehawk helicopter descended through the smoke to lift him away. Even in perfect ambushes, war remains unpredictable. El Gallo's defenses fell apart. His men fired desperately, exposing themselves with every shot. SEAL Team 6 descended from the ridges, advancing through fire and rubble, boots crunching over shattered metal, weapons steady. They closed in the final moments. Came fast, windows shattered, doors ripped open. El Gallo dragged from the truck, thrashing against the cuffs that sealed his fate within minutes. His encrypted laptop and satellite phones were seized. For the United States, this was more than victory. It was intelligence gold. 27 minutes after the first explosion, silence reclaimed the canyon. Smoke curled from blackened wrecks as dawn began to touch the horizon. 47 cartel soldiers dead, 19 captured. Alive, every truck destroyed. Billions in narcotics and cash recovered. But the true prize sat in custody: the man who could unravel the inner network of the Sinaloa cartel. As the sun rose, its light revealed the full aftermath: charred steel, shattered weapons, the remains of an empire broken by precision. The agent combed through the wreckage, logging every crate of meth, every stack of cash, every weapon. What had once been a proud convoy was now evidence of failure. Analysts would later call this ambush one of the most devastating blows ever struck. But for the intelligence gained, El Gallo's capture opened trails leading deep into the cartel's command chain and financial arteries. For decades, they believed themselves untouchable. That illusion burned away in the Arizona desert. When the United States chooses to strike, it waits, it watches, and it hits with precision at the moment when escape is impossible. The canyon that night became more than a battlefield. It became a message carved in fire and steel. Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more untold stories.